Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of I'll Hang Up and Listen. I am Duane from Two Goalies, One Mic. Don't forget to get to Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? Don't haste. Go buy a case. That's my own little addition to the ad read. You can find them at Outlet Liquor NY on Twitter. Unbelievable place to go get your any of your alcohol needs for Bills or Sabres games. I always go there before Bills and Sabres games when I stop over at my buddy Greg's house to chill in his man cave. So make sure you get over there. Unbelievable place. Don't haste, buy a case. Anyways, get that ad read out of the way. 2-1 loss tonight, Buffalo to the New Jersey Devils. They were gassed. 1,000% they were gassed from the second period on. You could tell the jump was gone. They battled, though. They hung in there. Tokarski played an absolutely unbelievable game. 37 saves and 39 shots. And you know what? Couple clicks to Nigel Dawes, right? Because, come in, make your NHL debut. Just got called up. Not an easy spot to be in. And I believe that was his family in the crowd. Looked awfully proud. Goes and gets his first win and his first career start. So a couple clicks for Nigel Dawes. Good for you, kid. What are you going to do? It's a tough spot for a guy like him to be in. And, he came up. Wasn't tested a ton, but I don't know what, he answered the bell when he was asked to, and I thought he did a good job. I think that if you would have had the Sabres team, the energized Sabres team from last night and not tonight, I think we're talking a different story, because again, I think they looked absolutely gassed. So, but that's neither here nor there. Again, I'm not that all upset about the last two games. The last night against the Bruins, you were playing a very talented, high-end, elite team in Boston. Their top three lines are better than anything you really have right now. Even injuries aside on the middle stat, Yoki Harju, I mean, that team is just loaded, and you hung in with them. You actually dominated at most analytic departments, including expected goals for last night. Again, against a very, very good Boston Bruins team. And you come in tonight, you're gassed, man. You really sold out last night, right? You skated hard from start to finish like you should, and you got beat. I'm sorry. You had a much more energized New Jersey Devils team. Great coach behind the bench in Lindy Ruff. We all love Lindy. Good to see him doing well in New Jersey. But here's the thing. You had a rookie goaltender making his NHL debut tonight. You had a team that didn't have Jack Hughes. So even if you're tired, even if you're just not as talented of a team, you got to take advantage of that. Those are two big pieces missing in a starting goaltender, and obviously your most talented forward on the team in Hughes. You got to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, they couldn't. Dylan Cousins getting on the board, well deserved. Absolutely piss missile of a shot there in the first period to give him the early lead, 1-0. But that's the thing. In the first period, they were all over the net. They were really creating a lot of havoc for this kid Dawes, and that just disappeared really in the second and third. And that's what you have to do. And anytime you have a new goaltender, a rookie goaltender, whether it's his first start or his fifth start, if he's a rookie, he's a young kid, get in his face, get in his grill. Honestly, I said it in episode 74, which will be up later tonight. If you got to take a penalty to really obstruct him and really make him uncomfortable, do it. Whatever. You know what I mean? As long as you're in a situation where you're playing with some swag, you're playing with some confidence, I wouldn't even mind them taking a penalty there in the first or second period just to really cause him some obstruction, make him uncomfortable. We did not make him feel uncomfortable at all tonight. Can we talk about Dustin Hasek tonight? Absolutely, we can talk about Dustin Hasek tonight. Dustin looked phenomenal. And I'll give credit where credit is due. I mean, I've said this kid is nothing but an AHL goaltender. He proved me wrong, at least tonight. Dustin looked great. His technique was superb. Puck tracking was, unbelievable. And, he didn't give up a ton of second chances. He swallowed up pucks, stayed square to shooters. And, he deserved to win tonight. Unfortunately, again, I think the boys are just out of gas tonight, and they just couldn't get it done. Let's talk about that overtime goal. Jeff Skinner, what the hell are you doing? When you're in the defensive zone, it's really you man up. Find a man and you stay to him. 3-on-3 hockey, so much open ice, you stick to your man. Jeff Skinner went out of his way. He looked like a lost puppy out there. He looked like a guy when you're playing NHL or you're playing shell, you pull the controller, or you're just kind of coasting around. You don't have a purpose. Like, he just didn't know what he was doing out there. He was lost. And then he went to the puck here who was already manned up on a defender, and you just left another guy wide open. And granted, it didn't happen right in that instant, but you just doing that flyby really opened up Severson and who scored, Zacha, to make that play, for him to make that play to Zacha and to finish it on glove side on Tokarski. And, you need more out of Jeff Skinner there. If you're just gassed, I don't know what the reason he was, but that is inexcusable. You cannot just float around there in 3-on-3 overtime. I don't care who's out there, whether you're going up against Alex Ovechkin or Pavel Zacha. It doesn't matter. It's 3-on-3. Pick a man and stick to him. No flybys, no two men to a single player. You got that. That was brutal. That was absolutely brutal to watch. Dude needs to be a facilitator instead of a scorer, man. I didn't know what planet he was on. Yeah, he does need to be a He does need a facilitator there. I'm not going to sit here and say the scoring touch of Jeff Skinner's lost. It's not. I really don't think it is. But in order for him to be not anything close to the $9.5 million player you paid him to be, you need a true number one center. And I think the lack of depth down the middle was really prevalent tonight. You didn't have a lot of playmaking ability out there. You were having issues passing the puck. The first pass was fine, but anything after that was just absolutely terrible. First time I would say all season where I'd say the passing was just really brutal tonight after that first pass. And the neutral zone after the first period was rough to watch. Just a lot to be looked at, hopefully on tape, either on the way home tonight or tomorrow at practice. Really just study some film and just kind of fix those mistakes you were making. Jeff Skinner, I mean, dude, that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. But I got it. I mean, what can you do? You went into Boston last night, and this is their first away. These are their first away games. You know what I mean? Like, this was actually, I think this was their first. Yeah, this was their first trip away from KeyBank Center. So, I guess it's a good thing that you had so much time at home to play at home, and then your first game away. I mean, they took one out of 4 possible points here against Boston, New Jersey. One of those games with Tokarski and I've said, from your backup goalie on any team that's built to win, you would hope out of 10 starts you get 6 wins, at least 50% or more of the possible points. Tokarski, out of his 2 starts, has gotten you 3 points. What more can you ask for from the guy? You know what I mean? Especially on a team built like this. So I'm not at all upset about the way this team played. However, because they were just gassed, and when you're tired, you make mistakes. So the only thing I wish I could have seen maybe Donnie Granato do there at the end of the third period, they had a whistle. They had a whistle at 2 minutes. I wish he would have taken a timeout there. Really give his boys a chance to relax with the expectation you're probably going to be going into overtime here. That's the only thing I would have really liked to see from Granato. I don't think he used his timeout. I think you have to there. But that's just me, especially when you see that your boys are gassed and they need a breather. I don't think he used his timeout at all during the game. But also, another Leafs loss. You can love to see it. They were throwing jerseys on the ice yesterday. Last time I checked, the score was 5-1 Pittsburgh. They're absolutely getting pumped. Hutchinson was back in that. I mean, I don't know. I love Jack Campbell, man. But they really need to figure that out. Because Kyle Dubas has to be getting worried about his job. Because I don't really know what else more you could do for a team that's built like that. They have the veteran leadership. They have the high-end talent. I truly do believe they have a number one goaltender in Jack Campbell. They need to figure this out because that's, those fans. I'm glad I'm not a part of Leafs Twitter. There's a lot of people in Leafs Twitter that I interact with a lot, and I rib them a little bit, and they rib me, of course, because I'm a Sabres fan. But that is going to be fun to watch tonight, to watch that absolute meltdown. I cannot wait for Steve Dangle's LFR tonight. Guy's the most passionate fan I've ever seen in any sport. The guy is second to none. He loves the Leafs. He loves that team, and he deserves so much more. Final score 7-1. Unbelievable. Hey, Robbie. Nice to have you on with us, bud. But anyways, yeah, 7-1. I love to see it, and I fully expect Steve Daigle to absolutely lose his shit tonight on his LFR video, and rightfully so. That team needs to figure it out, man. They need to tighten it up because people's jobs are going to be in the line soon, and there's no excuse with the amount of talent you have on that roster to not be winning hockey games, not be going 2 for 3 at least every single, winning 2 out of every 3. That's inexcusable to me. If I was a Leafs fan, I feel for you guys. That's brutal. But hey, you don't have a good, yeah. Sabres, what are we, second the Atlantic? Love to see it. Eat it, Leafs fans. But anyways, guys, I didn't want to take up too much of your time tonight. Tough loss, absolutely. What are you gonna do? Go back to the drawing board. Hopefully, we're a little bit closer to getting both Casey Middlestat and Henry Jokiharju. Those two guys are two key pieces. I think Casey Middlestat, for me at least, is your number one center on a team that doesn't have many very good ones after him and Dylan Cousins. So you got to get those two guys back and healthy. And, hopefully we're close to getting this Jack Eichel ordeal figured out and has more clarity on what this roster is going to look like going forward. I know this is, I know this is probably what it is as of right now, but it's tough. It's definitely tough to watch because, you have a big asset like Jack Eichel that 99.9% will never play for the Sabres again. And you want to see what you're going to get back for a guy like him. But obviously these issues with his neck, not having the clarity. I know he's getting ready. Him and his agents are getting ready to make one last proposal to Buffalo in hopes to, let them get the disc replacement surgery instead of the fusion. And I was listening to After the Whistle, Andrew Peters and Craig Gervais podcast. And, I don't blame him. Fusion is a scary thing. Anything with the neck is a scary thing. Anything fusion at 25, that's a scary, scary fucking thing, man. And I don't blame him for wanting the disc replacement. It's a safer procedure for longevity in your life and better quality of life. So I do not blame him at all for wanting the ADR surgery. So hopefully we get more clarity on that sooner rather than later. I'm not going to hold my breath though. Yeah, but again, 2-1 loss tonight by Buffalo to New Jersey. Absolutely brutal way. They outplayed after the first period for 40 minutes and then lose it in overtime on a really big mental fart by from Jeff Skinner. Again, buddy, what are you doing? That was terrible. But I said this, I've tweeted this. I said the one thing about this team, and shades of 96, 97, is you can punch them directly in the mouth and they're going to get right back up and they're going to punch you right back as hard as they can. They may not be able to punch as hard as you, but they're going to punch, and they're not going to stop punching until you knock them out. And it's going to take them a while to knock them out. And that's where I think you're going to see this team grind out points, much like they did tonight. They grinded out a point tonight. I think you're going to see a lot of that this season. We're going to see a lot of overtime and shootout games. Maybe 1-point games for Buffalo. I'm not going to sit there and say that they're going to come close to a playoff spot. I really don't think they will. I really do think that this team is going to work its ass off for this fan base every single night. And that's all we can ask for at this point until, we have, these reinforcements in Rochester and in junior hockey and in college up on the main roster within the next 2 to 3 years, where I think you're really going to see a very, very, very good and talented Buffalo Sabres hockey team. Another thing too, that game tying goal, that drove me nuts because I hated that penalty on Dahlin so much. Yeah, he gave him a little business in front of that. That's a hockey play to me, man. I've seen my defensemen growing up do that so many times and have it go uncalled. I thought that was such a weak call. I know I'm kind of erratic with my thoughts right now, but that was such a weak call, and to have that to lead to the game tying goal off a bad bounce off the back of the net. I mean, you can't expect that bounce off the back of the net the way that happened. So that sucks. That's a shitty way for that game to end up tied and going into overtime. So With that being said, guys, please leave your comments and your thoughts. I'll have this up on the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to listen to it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts later tonight. So, make sure you guys have a good night. If you're out, be safe, be well. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in, and let's go Sabres.